Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach with Wrestling Rambling today. Basically, I don't know where I'm going to be going in this video. I just have a topic in my mind, and without planning, I'm just going to talk this out and see where we get to in the end. And basically, I'm just going to be continuing on about last night's video about people complaining about Roman Reigns and just not even letting everything play out to see that they're basically, going out of their way to cancel the WWE Network because they're upset that this guy won the Royal Rumble, is going to be going on to main event. And the biggest question in the world is, why can't Daniel Bryan just be added into the main event once again? People say that I saw one thing on Twitter that made me laugh the first time and then made me start thinking about it, basically saying that there's some sort of an answer out there on the internet of why Daniel Bryan's not going to be in the main event of WrestleMania, and that's basically because Vince McMahon doesn't believe that adding Daniel Bryan to the main event makes things in WWE too predictable, and the fans will just get worn out. And because of this, they put up all the pay-per-view pictures of Randy Orton versus John Cena in one-on-one matches. There's more than a dozen of them. There's a lot of them. Just say that. And just basically, if Randy Orton and John Cena can go at it 1,000 times, why can't Daniel Bryan be in the main event of WrestleMania twice? Basically, because I think that the Underdog feature of Daniel Bryan got played out last year. Daniel Bryan for the past 2 years has been the underdog, going back to Daniel Bryan having the Money in the Bank, and Michael Cole was saying this guy was the ultimate virgin. He was the ultimate nerd. Nobody likes this guy. Why does he have the Money in the Bank if he's never going to become World Heavyweight Champion? Then he came out. He snuck up on Big Show. He was able to cash in. Through that, he went through a series of matches where he was fighting two giants at once. He was defeating the Big Show. He was defeating Mark Henry. And he worked his way out of that into becoming the champion and going into the Elimination Chamber, something that nobody thought he had a chance to win. And then all of us internet marks going bonanza when Daniel Bryan won an Elimination Chamber, saying that he was going to be champion going into WrestleMania. And the big shock that we got when Sheamus kicked him in the face and he lost the title in a matter of seconds. From there, Daniel Bryan went through big time heel turn, pretty much, of just going with John Laurinaitis for a little bit, having a series of matches against CM Punk, and then from there going into the Team Hell No, and everybody thought, well, this is it, it's over and done with. Daniel Bryan will never be at the top of the card again, and then riding out Team Hell No months and months longer than anybody thought that this should go. And because of Team Hell No, this teaming up with Kane, he was able to become into this guy that beat the Shield, and from then he started going after the Authority, and from going after the Authority, he was able to be added in to the WrestleMania main event by beating Triple H. I think that honestly, somebody who wins the WWE Championship, especially at WrestleMania in the main event, no longer can be taken like he is the underdog. Yes, Daniel Bryan is significantly smaller than a lot of the wrestlers that are in the main event scene in the WWE. Everybody knows that this guy is a great wrestler, but is this guy really going to be sneaking up on anybody? I know that people say that he got eliminated from the Royal Rumble too fast, but, did you really see Daniel Bryan having a big Diesel-like moment? Daniel Bryan is one of the smaller guys. I'll use my boss, for example. When I talk wrestling with my boss, when Daniel Bryan is the champion, like when he was going into WrestleMania last year, and he was going to go up against Triple H, and then if he won that match, he was have to go up against Batista, and then he was able to go up against Randy Orton in the main event in the the triple threat match. Basically, what my boss says about Daniel Bryan beating champion is that he doesn't understand Daniel Bryan. Basically, because if you go back and you think about what Kevin Nash talked about in TNA when he was talking about the X Division, the worst big guy can beat the best little guy. There's no way in the world you can see Daniel Bryan beating these guys in a back alley street fight anywhere down the road. If you were gonna go into a dark alley and have to fight a guy like Big Show, are you gonna want to go into that alley with a guy like Kane, or go into that alley with a guy like Daniel Bryan? I'm gonna be picking the biggest guy I can find to go into that alley with me, because there's no way in the world I want to be walking into there with Daniel Bryan in a fist fight. You know what I mean? It's just, I love Daniel Bryan. He was my pick to win the Royal Rumble with my heart. If I had to put money on it, I thought that as a wrestling fan for so long, it had to be Roman Reigns. What I see coming out of this in the foreseeable future is that WWE has to have some sort of a storyline why they brought Daniel Bryan back. We have a history of Daniel Bryan being significantly crazy, I guess you can say. Basically the pressure and the fans, they got to him. Basically he got yes over. I don't know if it was WWE trying to plan what was next for Daniel Bryan, or if they were trying to basically kill the yes chant, because they didn't really have any plans for Daniel Bryan to be in the main events, or maybe they needed this guy to be a heel and they didn't want people cheering for him. Basically that's what turned into no, until basically, I think he didn't go down with the yes until they beat Big E Langston and Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania 29, and I think that's when Daniel Bryan really turned the page and just started soaking it in and yesing with everybody right there in New Jersey that night. I can see the pressure getting to Daniel Bryan. You can really see that, in that really personable interview that was with Monday Night Raw, after the Royal Rumble, basically talking about him saying that, Roman Reigns stole his spot by winning the Royal Rumble. You can see that there is some sort of jealousy behind what Daniel Bryan was saying. He wishes he could be in that spot. He thinks if he did have a match with Roman Reigns, he could beat him. He thinks he is the better wrestler. He thinks he is the more deserving guy. You could really see that maybe he let the fans down by them pushing him in order to get ready and get cleared in order to able to come back to wrestling. And then he comes back. Then Triple H and Stephanie make him jump through the hoops in order to actually get into the Rumble. A match he wasn't even involved in last year, and then he gets into the Rumble and he's in there for a matter of minutes before being eliminated, and it just was shock. There was reports of Daniel Bryan being mad to the point where some fans thought that it was some sort of a screw job, where basically somebody acted on their own, physically removing Daniel Bryan from the Royal Rumble match. I think that is beyond crazy. Daniel Bryan has been a good actor at just about anything that they've asked him to do, from every emotion, from whether having the Dr. Shelby classes with Kane and just, breaking down and just going bonanza. He's been able to show him excited. He's been able to show himself as being sad. I think that Daniel Bryan showed every emotion walking to the back that night, of just being in physical shock and then being like he let himself down, being like he let the fans down. The yes movement is a big deal for Daniel Bryan's character. He wouldn't be the character that he is on television if it wasn't for the fans behind him cheering him and pushing him to the point that we have him at today. I can see Daniel Bryan breaking down from this pressure, basically becoming a heel, going against the fans, not really meaning to, but trying to do everything he could do to make the fans happy, whether if that goes to maybe start cheating in his matches, or just doing heel-like tactics to the point where he finally just breaks down and snaps again. I don't want him and Kane to be going back to see Dr. Shelby again. It is funny when I see the people tweet that he does need Dr. Shelby here or there, but definitely that's something that they don't need to go back to. But definitely Daniel Bryan needs something added onto this character to get him into the future, because I think looking at Daniel Bryan as some sort of a underdog cannot happen anymore. This guy won the World Heavyweight Championship by beating all three current members of Evolution in one night. Nobody beats Triple H. That very rarely happens. Nobody beats Randy Orton and Batista at the same time. This guy is on everyone's radar. He's not going to be sneaking up on anybody. So let's, before we jump off the bridge that Daniel Bryan didn't win the Rumble and Roman Reigns did, let's give WWE a little bit of a benefit of the doubt and see where they're going with this, and see if maybe they do have the wheels turning on something and they do have some ideas. Daniel Bryan was out for a long time. I know that they've come back and they've had him in matches with Kane again and again, but they got to be building towards something. Maybe he'll fight Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt eliminated him from the Royal Rumble at WrestleMania. Maybe he'll fight Dolph Ziggler, and what some people say it'll be the biggest match on the card by far. Best wrestling style of match that you can have by that time of the card. But they're going to have something. I promise you. I know that much from watching wrestling all my life. Daniel Bryan is not getting moved to the mid-card. He's not going to be on the pre-shows of pay-per-views. Whenever Daniel Bryan's healthy and Daniel Bryan's able to wrestle, they're going to have something for him. He sells merchandise. The fans are behind him. And those are the two biggest things when it comes to anything in the WWE. Well, Dolph Ziggler does the same thing, but they're starting to get it. They'll figure something out. We'll handle with Ziggler the other day, but that's just basically all I have to say about Daniel Bryan tonight.